this is Stuart Ross, and since 2010, with the support of my team and partner, we've taught many driven men and women from a wide variety of backgrounds, including professionals, doctors, pilots, bankers, construction workers, artists, teachers, consultants, salesmen and women, business professionals, and most likely people just like you, how to quit their day jobs, increase their income, and secure their future with an online business model that enables them to escape the commuting, time spent in an office or place of work, and time away from their families, and finally have the freedom each and every one of them so desperately desired. Also, they can actually spend their time around who and what matters most to them. And this is something that I like to refer to as living the digital life. In other words, setting yourself up with a digital lifestyle business system that allows you to do what the heck you want, when you want, where you want, and with who you want, all because of the flexibility, automation, and income that a successful digital lifestyle business system can provide you. And during this video, it's really just my hope to inspire you into thinking about why now might just be the right time for you to think about leaving the old way of doing things and start transitioning to the new way, the digital lifestyle way. And also, I want to show you how it's very possible for you to actually achieve this. But don't worry, you don't have to take my word for it, because I certainly wouldn't expect you to. So you'll get a chance to meet some of our students and members who, just like me, are regular people that have made the transition and are now living the digital life. And more importantly, you'll get to hear a little bit about what it's done for them and what it means to them. And in fact, on that note, let's start now with Elon Ferdman, a 36-year-old family man from New York who lost everything he'd ever worked for in the banking collapse back in 2007. Even though he was one of the few honest investment bankers around, Elon is now a 7-figure online business owner and living proof of what's possible when taking the time to just get some new skills, leverage the right system, and take advantage of today's digital economy. So on that note, let's go over to Elon.
People keep asking me, what does digital lifestyle even mean? So I want to answer it by sharing with you a really interesting story. The other day, my son Shia, who was about to turn 5, we're driving in the car, and he starts sharing a story about one of his friends from school and how this friend's dad has to leave his house to go to work, and that the son doesn't really get to play with him or doesn't get to see him. And my son asked me, what does that mean? And it was that moment that I realized what I'd spent the last 5+ years building for myself. You see, for me, I built a lifestyle using digital tools and technologies that are available to you, just like they are to me, to make sure that I never miss a day with my children. I've seen my son and now daughter grow up in our house every single day. I get to go upstairs from my office on any given moment and play with them, whether it's for 5 minutes or an hour, because that's what I feel like doing. So when someone asks me, what does digital lifestyle mean? I think it means a whole lot of things to a whole lot of different people. But ultimately, the overarching concept is digital lifestyle provides you with freedom. Digital lifestyle is a whole new ballgame, a whole new arena that people are getting to play in to create freedom-based lifestyles. Whether that's freedom to travel around the world, whether that is freedom to make money doing something that you're absolutely passionate about that lights you up and gets you out of bed, or like me, it's freedom to spend as much time as I want with my family and my kids. The money is fantastic. Travel is fantastic. To me, the most important part when I started this journey was to create a life that allowed me to be with my kids without having to ask a boss for permission, without having to get a job that allows me 2 weeks off to have that luxury. And that, to me, is the impact of actually putting in the work to create this kind of digital lifestyle. And thanks to my mentors, thanks to the 6-Figure Mentor community, I've been able to build that kind of lifestyle for myself and then train thousands of others to do the same for themselves. So the question you really have to ask is not what is digital lifestyle, it's What would be the life that I want to create for myself? What would be the freedom that I want to fight to achieve? And then go and educate yourself around how to do that. The tools and technologies are here. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Have an amazing day.
A cool guy and an even cooler dad. All right, so here's the deal as I see it. Something new and exciting is emerging in the world right now, something that's never been done before. People around the world are turning themselves into something that I like to call freedom entrepreneurs. And just like Elon, they're leaving their office jobs and traditional businesses forever, and they're building online businesses and living this digital life that we've been talking about. Now, what's fueling this trend is the rise in online opportunity and entrepreneurship, but accompanied by this absolute vast necessity for people to secure their future away from the sinking traditional economy, an economy that is being replaced quickly by more efficient technology and now even artificial intelligence. Now, the reality is the world is changing. Business and how business is conducted is changing at such a rapid pace. And I recently read an article that suggested that 80% of jobs will be replaced by robots and AI within the next 20, maybe 30 years. Now, as scary as that sounds, I'm actually fascinated with how fast things are changing in business right now. And I firmly believe that every scary change brings and creates new opportunity. Every technology and industry development creates an entire world of new opportunity for, of course, those who take the time and the insight to position themselves in a way that they can benefit from all the changes that are happening. And here's some good news. Positioning yourself so that you can actually benefit from these changes is not half as complicated as what most people assume. Just as our student 32-year-old Amy Taylor from London discovered, Amy actually recently quit her job as a travel agent and set off to Thailand for 5 months, taking not much more than her suitcase, of course, her laptop, and the knowledge that she's accumulated over the past couple of years as a student of ours. I'd love you to meet Amy.
So what does a digital lifestyle mean to me? Well, for me, in August 2015, it meant quitting my job in the corporate rat race in London. And for the last 18 months, it's meant being able to spend a lot more time with the people in my life who I care about. So that's meant going for a coffee sometimes on a Wednesday morning, middle of the week, with some of my girlfriends who have had some babies and they can't socialise as much in the evenings. It's meant lots of time spent with my 96-year-old grandmother who's been in hospital a lot, and generally just doing exactly what I want to do, when I want, where I want, and with who I want. I go shopping for my supermarket groceries on a Monday morning at 9 o'clock when there's no one in the supermarket. I love that. And more recently, it's meant packing my bags. I'm here at Heathrow Airport in London. I've been at an amazing 4-day event with our community, getting some education and some amazing mentorship and leadership training. And I've got my bags packed and I am relocating to Thailand for the next 5 months, just because I've had enough of the English weather, quite frankly. It's supposed to be summer. It's rained pretty much every day for the last 3 weeks and I've just had enough of it, and I want to change my environment, and that is absolutely something you can do with a digital business, a digital lifestyle, and that is exactly what a digital lifestyle means to me, and it's all been thanks to a digital education.
Okay, so by now you're probably wondering what kind of business or even industry specifically offers the most opportunity for people looking to transition to the digital economy. And quite frankly, there is more opportunity when you know what to look for than you could possibly begin to imagine. I really mean that. But here's just one of the areas I see the most change and one of the biggest opportunities happening right now and probably in the future. Most people earning their income in the traditional economy are becoming increasingly time poor. The reality is that people are sitting at their desk or spending many hours at their place of work, plugging away for long hours, regardless of the fact this kind of mindset is actually having increasingly diminishing returns. But people are becoming insecure about their careers, their business lives, their jobs, and as a result, this leads to insecurity about taking time off and being outworked by their colleagues or competitors. And it's this very reason that makes people choose to work harder than ever before, and even at the sacrifice of their health and having spare time to do the things they'd rather be doing. Now, the obvious cure for time poverty, for most people anyway, sadly just yet, isn't for them to learn a new set of skills for the digital economy so they can increase their income, free up their time with the advantages of an online business, but it's rather about better using the time that they have. Now, this is just one example of why online shopping services like Amazon Prime now, with their 1 to 2 hour delivery time, is exploding. I mean, why take the time to sit in the car and fight traffic, line up at the checkout, when you can have the items you need delivered within an hour or two? So as a result of this, online shopping is not only continuing to explode, but it's focused around becoming more efficient than even the old way of walking into a shop, getting what you need there and then. And for those individuals who understand that, they're able to focus on building businesses that are benefiting from this trend of providing convenience and efficiency to busy people with the aid of modern systems and technology. Now, we're also seeing the rise and prevalence of digital products, the value of information, and the birth of a completely digital economy where digital money is exchanged for digital products instantly online. And by the way, this is where I focus most of my attention in my business, particularly in providing educational and technology products around helping people succeed in business online, because people are finally starting to realize just how valuable their lives are and how valuable their time is. They want to get out of the rat race and into the lifestyle that they want and stop working to build someone else's dream and start building their own. Now, this is a fast emerging market, and I'm excited that we're already positioned to help millions of people over the next decade to make this transition. And along with this, many people are also starting to realize that each one of us can actually make a difference in the world, and we can have a unique impact. We want to free up our time and our attention so we can do something serious with our lives. As an example, not only do I get to be at the head of a multi-million-dollar education and technology company, I've built my business in a way that allows me to have a lot more free time than I ever would have imagined possible. So I've been able to find the time to do things like build my charity Victoria's Promise with our other trustees, where we focus on supporting cancer sufferers through their illness. And now we're even moving into the direction of raising awareness around the prevention of cancer through online education. Now, these are all things that I'd have struggled to do before with my busy career and my previous skill sets. Look, as you can see, this really is a time of almost unbelievable change and, of course, opportunity. It's also a time of almost unbelievable fear and confusion. Many people are so overwhelmed with the change that they're putting their head in the sand and hoping when they look up things will be okay. But again, the good news is that usually the biggest challenges in life present the biggest opportunity, and that's exactly what we're seeing here, especially if you can get ahead of the curve. And this is why I believe becoming a digital entrepreneur is the only real viable way to create the security and the freedom that people like you and I really want. And like I said before, it's not half as complicated as people think. It's just most people assume that you have to be some sort of technical genius or whiz kid, and that's just not the case. Anyone who is prepared to learn some new mindsets, a basic set of new skills, can really make this transition. And again, on that note, I'd love to introduce you to two more of our students. In fact, they're actually two of our earlier students, husband and wife team, Greg and Fiona Scott from New Zealand. Fiona, an ex-accountant, Greg, an ex-IT guy. These guys really have a lifestyle that almost anybody would envy. They're traveling around the world all year round, and now mentors within our academy. They're also impacting hundreds, probably thousands now, of people with their incredible ability to support others to do the same. Check out Greg and Fiona Scott here.
Hey, it's Greg and Fiona Scott here, coming to you from the sunny Bahamas.
And today we'd love to share with you exactly what the digital lifestyle means to us. And the great thing is it can be anything you want it to be.
Because we're passionate about waking people up and opening people's eyes to the alternatives that are available online.
Since 2010, we've served and helped hundreds of individuals wake up to the possibilities that exist on the internet today.
Back then, I was a chartered accountant, Greg was a project manager. My job was super stressful. Taking holidays back then, you know, I used to have to work my butt off for the fortnight leading up to the holiday. Then it would take the first week of the holiday just to unwind and de-stress.
We become to realise that we were no longer passionate about what we were doing, and we were certainly no longer fulfilled.
We just had the insight to leave our jobs, to quit corporate Britain because we just weren't happy with what it was doing to us and the stress it was involving and just how full on it was. Our passion is travel, and we love travel, we love wine, we love eating. And we've just come back from a couple of scuba dives.
We wanted a business where we could do what we like, when we like, and be passionate about what we're doing.
I'm now 49 and Greg is
Coming up 51.
and we've reinvented, reskilled and re-educated ourselves. So if we can do it, then you can too.
We can run our lifestyle around our business, not the other way around. Our business doesn't run us, we run our business, but we get to choose the lifestyle that we live as well. In fact, at the moment, we're on the Caribbean coast of Mexico. We've been traveling for the last 5 months. We've still got another 3.5 months to go.
We have got the ability to work absolutely anywhere in the world that there's an internet connection.
We love our lifestyle, and we're very grateful to the Six Figure Mentors education, which has had a huge part in helping us to achieve that. But right now, it's cocktail time.
Cheers! So, over and out from Yosemite National Park, over and out from sunny Venice in Los Angeles, California. Over and out from us, from Miami. Over and out here from Bali. Over and out from the sunny Bahamas. Over and out from sunny Sydney in Australia.
They really do make me smile when I see them on video. All right, so hopefully you're aware, or at least starting to consider, the real benefits of launching and growing a digital business so that it's fully digital and that it's able to run and grow independently if needed. And also so that it truly fits your life and gives you more lifestyle freedom. But building a business doesn't happen overnight. However, if you start with the mindset of building a digital lifestyle business, one that you can run from anywhere, that's specifically designed to fit around and support your life, you've already started with a huge advantage. Again, I call it our digital lifestyle business system. And whether you have a business and you want to use it to build your dream lifestyle, or if you want to start your first business around your job to do it, I want to share with you a picture of what it's like to have a healthy digital business set up and running, and how it can completely change the way that you live, and why I believe it's really the only viable way to achieve both freedom and security today. So I guess growing up, I certainly wasn't that guy at school that anyone would have guessed would have gone on to be successful in business. In fact, I just about scraped through college after my mum had to go in twice to convince my teacher to allow me to stay on. It wasn't so much about whether I had the ability to do well or not, I don't think anyway, just more about my lack of interest in learning the stuff that we were being taught. My school reports seemed to have a common theme of saying I often lacked focus and was somewhat a distraction in class, probably a bit of a joker at times. I remember a conversation with my mum as well, just before my 18th birthday, that really stuck with me, where she said, "Stuart, I'm really worried about you. You're going to end up a loser and have nothing in life. You can't go through life without having goals and working hard to reach them. And it was something that just really played on my mind a lot. You know, the fact that my mum thought I was going to be a loser just didn't feel right. And so I decided to get out and do something about that. And I started with a job at a real estate firm where I was a junior sales consultant. Basically, that involved the heavy responsibility of printing out the particulars of homes, filing them in the correct places and mailing them out to people that requested the details. And when I wasn't doing that, I was making coffee for the team at my office or out on the streets posting promotional leaflets through people's doors, asking if they wanted to sell their home. You know, in other words, I guess I was just the general dog's body for about 6 months or so. But then eventually I was allowed to take incoming calls and deal with the inquiries as they came in, all the usual stuff. And I guess a long story short, seeing as this is a video, over the next 7 years I worked pretty damn hard, worked my way up to management. By 26 I was managing the Premier Homes division of the company, and I was responsible for listing homes that sold in the millions. But the reality was, even though I was earning a decent income, I was also working 6 days a week, leaving my home at 7 in the morning, getting home at 8 at night, and I had no life. You know, outside of my career, I was too tired on my days off to do anything more than be lazy, and would spend most of the day dreading going back to work the next day. I'd totally lost my passion and ambition with what I was doing that I did once have. I was neglecting my diet and my health, and I knew it wasn't the life I was supposed to be living. Something just didn't feel right, and I knew there had to be something better out there for me, even though I had absolutely no idea what or had any qualifications outside of, you know, being prepared to work hard. So the initial thought of finding something else, to be honest, seemed unrealistic. And that was back in 2007. Despite all of that, that was the year I decided things needed to change. And I started off by researching different opportunities online. I read a couple of books, Rich Dad Poor Dad amongst a few others, which I took two major insights from that would really change the way I thought about making money forever, and I'll share them with you now. The first insight was I needed to stop trading my time for money, because as long as I was trading my time for money in a job, I'd never find freedom, both financial or time. I mean, there's only so many hours in a day, and it doesn't matter what you do for a living, even if your time is worth a lot of money, because, I don't know, you're an industry expert or you're in an industry that pays well, you know, you'll never be able to break free, because it's your time that you're selling. You are literally selling your life for money. The insight I took was a far better way to do things was to go into business for yourself and focus on selling products rather than time or services. The second insight I took was that once you have a product that is selling, is you can then focus most of your time scaling up your sales and your income infinitely. You know, you can focus on setting up systems to do most of the heavy lifting, like the telling and selling of the product. And with the internet and the chance to have websites instead of having to, you know, open up an expensive store or traditional business with employees, this was and is more achievable than ever before in history, both from a costing and a reach point of view. I mean, think about it. You can literally reach billions of people in every corner of the globe, you know, 24/7, 365 days a year. Take right now, for instance, here you are listening to me, but I could well be asleep, out walking my dog, at dinner with my girlfriend. But anyway, here's what happened. On December the 28th, 2007, desperate not to have a 9th year in my job and desperate not to have another business failure and get into even more debt, which I'll tell you about in the next video, I purchased my first ever course on affiliate marketing, and I discovered a simple business model that paid me for selling other people's products. I didn't need any technical knowledge, I didn't need my own products or unique ideas or even my own websites for that matter. All I needed to do was learn how to get customers for the products I chose to promote. And as you can probably guess, if you are anything like me, I got right to it and put every spare hour I had into getting up and running. You know, I went through a lot of the training material I purchased whilst I was at work. I'd then email myself the notes from work so that I could apply the steps right away as soon as I got home. And you know, by the second week of January in 2008, if I remember correctly, it was actually a Wednesday morning, I woke up and found that I'd made my first ever commission online, and it happened while I was asleep. Now, it was only about 12 bucks or something, but it was for selling an ebook on relationship advice. But it didn't matter to me. I'd proven to myself I could do it. I could make money online, and even better, I could make it when I was sleeping. I was so chuffed with myself. I was like singing in my car the whole way to work that day on my commute. So my next step was just to, you know, rinse and repeat that process. After 3 months of placing, you know, campaigns every spare hour I had my first 15K online within the first couple of months. It was selling ebooks in relationship advice and health and fitness, mainly around nutritional and that kind of stuff. And I realised that it was costing me more money, to stay at my job, building my boss's dream, than it was to be building my own. On my 6th month, I actually had my first $10,000 month. So I decided to sort of hand in my notice, and that very first year, not even really knowing what I was doing, just working really hard to test out all the stuff I was learning and find different niches to try out, I made over $450,000 in commissions. That November, just 11 months after getting started, I'd got my dream car, and to be honest, I was in a constant state of shock with how much my life had changed, relatively speaking anyway. It was such a short space of time. I mean, I'd worked 70 hours a week for 7 years, working my absolute butt off to make a quarter of what I was making in my new online business. So I guess you could say it was quite surreal, especially as I also had the freedom to work whenever and wherever I chose, which at that time was usually touring around the local coffee shops, something I still do now and still love doing. So there is no doubt, the internet has truly provided me and continues to provide me with a lifestyle that most people would say is too good to be true, from the money and the material things I've been able to obtain to the freedom every day to have the time to do the things I want to do. Whilst most people are stuck in an office or a commute, I have total freedom and flexibility. I can hand on heart say that it now feels virtually effortless to run my business. That's not to say I don't have lots of challenges or even bad days. It's just the business is set up in a way that the money does keep coming in, whether I'm working or not, as I have the system set up to run that way. And I really do enjoy the challenges that do come my way. It's really, a great chance to grow in business, and often my character as well. The journey and the challenges, I think, have played a big part in what has given me such peace of mind in life, which in my opinion is really what we're all striving for more than anything else, peace of mind. And then, as if that isn't already enough, it's really almost impossible to put into words what an absolute pleasure running my business is. Waking up every single day excited about what you do is something money just can't buy. And it's that feeling that I'm definitely most grateful for. And it really is a huge vision of ours to wake people up and show them it's possible to feel that way about what you do. But with all that said, one final point I'd like to make is, whilst my life isn't perfect, I know I'm probably making it sound a bit like that. It's far better than I would ever imagine possible. Choosing to build an online business and live my digital lifestyle just is the best decision I've ever made. And over the years, I've had the pleasure of witnessing so many other people benefit from making that very same decision. And even better, I guess, being able to help them do it and help them not make the same mistakes that the majority of people will make, which was also something that my very first mentor, a guy called Brad, helped me do. I guess there are a couple of disclaimers though that I must make. First of all, I'm not suggesting in any way that my results are typical. Most people who attempt to start an online business, or any business for that matter, will fail. If there is such a thing, I've said for many years now that there isn't such thing as failure, just quitting. It's a choice at the end of the day to quit. But the primary reason people will quit is down to two factors as I see it. The first one is being that most people don't start out with a mentor. They make more of a trial and error approach to getting started, and they often quit before they've even figured out how to make their first sale. And the amount of things that you would need to figure out on your own, it really is no surprise. The second reason is that people treat it as a hobby, and building a business is no hobby unless, of course, you want to be paid like it's a hobby. And I don't know about you, but I certainly don't get paid for my hobbies. So with all that said, if you're going to do this, it's my advice that first you make sure you're learning from people that have done what you were trying to do. Reduce that learning curve as much as possible. And secondly, that you commit to doing the work. Like I said before, the good news is that you can do the work around your current job or commitments, and then become increasingly focused on growing the business once you're making enough money to focus on the business full time, or at least as much time as you decide to give it. Not everyone is necessarily as ambitious about the success of their business, and as long as they're making enough money to be comfortable, they're far happier and would rather be doing things with their time off, like tick off their bucket list. I mean, it just so happens for me, my business became my passion, and it's a choice of mine to grow it and I guess develop it every single day. So now you have an idea of what a successful digital life looks like and how it can help you create this unique lifestyle that you want to build. The next question is, of course, how do you get started with building your own? And in our second video, we're going to go deeper and I'll explain some of the most valuable steps that I took and teach you the key skill set that I learned that can help you avoid the pitfalls, avoid the guesswork, and start or grow your business much more intelligently and much more profitably. And this next video is critical, by the way, as it gets to the heart of what you need to do in order to really grow your digital business fast. Because if you can't grow, then you're going to become demotivated, or worse, you're going to quit. So what do you really need to do in order to grow fast, and how do all the pieces fit together? Join me for our second video and I'll show you more, and I'll show you how I did it. I'll show you how I first grew my business part-time around my day job to crossing my first 100,000, then $250,000, then almost $500,000 my first year of getting started. And I'm also going to show you how I really put most of my success down to learning just one key skill and how you can model what I did in your business. Okay, so you're inspired to create your digital life and live the digital lifestyle? Good. Then make sure you tune into my next video where I'm going to show you how I did it, how I did all this in my business, and how you can take the first step to doing it with your business. Keep an eye out on your inbox. I'll see you soon. Take care.